So I think we're live. Welcome, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy you're here with me this morning. And I wanted to just talk about the level 3 experience, because right now we have level 3 available to enroll in, right? And I wanted to get some really sweet level 3 stories and conversation going. And you were one of my students for level 1 and level 2. And I know that you've recently taken level 3. So when was it that you took level 3? Remind me. It was this summer, yeah?
End of August, yeah. And I was in Colorado, in Boulder.
And you were in Colorado. That's right. Okay. So what prompted you to say yes to level 3? What prompted you to jump into that, to continue on?
I really just felt like I had been guided to do it, and I've been part of another program in mediumship, and I had started getting kind of like breadcrumbs last summer. So it was definitely on my radar. And then when I saw the program open up at the beginning of this year, I jumped in with 2 feet, and I felt like I had been guided to learn from you. And I enjoyed our level 1 and 2. I learned so much. So I really feel like I just felt it was the right time, and timing wise, because my daughter and I have relocated to give her an opportunity. So that also was a big part of that decision too.
Yeah.
So it was phenomenal. I'm so glad I did it. I just want to give a shout out to the ladies that were in my group, because it was a really small group. And I really feel like that's a big testament to Deb and Chris and all of you teachers as well, is that it's not about having the numbers. It's not about that. It's about helping people on their journey as well, which I just so appreciated.
Yeah.
And it was so phenomenal. Like all of us girls that were in our group. So there was kind of 4 main ones, and then we had 2 others join us throughout as well. But all of our rising signs were water signs. And it was just phenomenal that way. And like seeing those synchronicities.
Water weekend.
Oh yeah, it was so lovely and loving and healing, like so much healing. So thank you to Sarah and Annette and Kristen and Briggs and Kelsey, and of course Deb and Chris. I can't tell you how much it's changed everything, honestly. Like it's changed so much in my life. I look at my chart now all the time, my kids, even explaining my kids' behaviors, like how they came into this life. And it's just changed our family dynamic too. Like I think that there's more compassion and understanding if the kids are going through something, or my husband, where I'm like, oh, you're going through this right now, okay. And having that knowledge and information, phenomenal. Yeah.
Right. So the part with the kids, right? The part with the kids where it's like, yes, now I can help my child. Now I can help my child kind of navigate any, hardships that they're going through, or navigating any kind of, especially the teenage years. Well, not only the teenage years, but even as, little children, it's like we are able to then hold them in a greater capacity and just have that understanding, like you spoke to, even with partners, And yeah, so learning those transits and learning that sort of stuff is so, so important in the understanding and the holding of our inner circle, those close to us, our family members.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even feel like it extends now when I meet new people and, we're sharing stories, or there's healing work or other things going on. Now I get super curious about, I wonder what your chart's like. And I wonder where this placement is in your chart. Like I start asking myself those things. So yeah, it's really interesting that way too, and fun. Like it's fun.
It's so fun. Okay, so just for fun, tell us your sun, moon, and rising.
So I am a Capricorn sun, I am a Gemini moon, and I am a Cancer rising.
Ah, there's that water rising.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yes, absolutely. So what would you say was the highlight of your particular weekend? Like, what was the biggest thing that you walked away with that weekend?
I really thought hard on this question, because it's actually really not. I can't even just pinpoint one thing. Like it was just the entirety of the weekend. It was everything. It was arriving, and like I even, I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, so being organized to me is like super important. So having that there when I walked in, and all the little extras and the specials, and just hanging out with the girls and getting to know everybody. And like I said, we were very fortunate. We were a very small group, so we got extra time with Deb and Chris and could talk about, oh, what about this in a chart, or what's your take on this? And then even to be with Deb in the, when our client came in and she's in the room with us, like she's amazing. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. Like it's just magic to watch her. Like there's no other way to describe it. So I just have to say it was just the entire experience. I'm so glad I did it. I would pay money to have that experience again and again and again.
Yeah.
So,
it is a very potent experience. And when you said, having Debra there next to you as you're giving your reading, it feels so supportive, right? Because that could be a little bit, it can make somebody nervous, just the thought of it or going into it. But then once you're in there, you feel the support, and you know that as you're giving your reading, if you need help, if you need her to jump in, she's right there in a super supportive way.
Well, and I loved too, because you're sitting down, we were downstairs watching everybody else give theirs. And then, we would have a group session after, like, oh, what about this? And how was this said? And it's really being very mindful of how you deliver things as well, and how things are spoken. And I think that's what Deb does so beautifully well. And even Chris, like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing as well. Like, she helped me through things where I was like, well, what's your take on this? How do you share this with somebody? So like, I don't know, it was just so impactful for so many different reasons. Absolutely. Yeah.
So Lisa, what are you doing? How are you utilizing all this astrology wisdom that you've gathered through level 1, 2, and 3 afterwards, like the aftermath of it? How are you using the astrology?
Yeah, so I still absolutely look up my chart. I'm going through some major things right now. So, being very well aware of those. And I feel like it's a great tool to help me through those things. And I think like, oh my gosh, why is this all happening? Oh, this is meant to happen for these very good reasons. Okay, let's focus on that instead, right? Also, I'm starting to do readings for other people, and I really am going to start working on, I'd like to have my certification through Debra's school. Absolutely. I think it's amazing and wonderful. And like I get people ask me all the time, like, oh, will you read my chart? So that's really exciting to me as well. People are very open to it.
They are.
Yeah.
They're surprisingly so, I think, once in my experience, this is funny, when people ask me what I do and I say I'm an astrologer, either I clear the room or everybody comes towards me. Depends on the crowd you're hanging out with.
Oh, for sure. And it was really synchronistic last year. Like, my daughter was taking astronomy in school. And so her and I would have a lot of discussions about, like, they were learning about their sun sign. And I said, well, that's just one small aspect of your chart. So let's look at your chart. And her chart is literally off the planet. It's like craziness. So I'm like, so when you act like this is actually in your chart placement. She's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, so that's okay. And like, when your moon sign is this, so this is how you handle things internally inside. And and like, she's 12 and she could get it at 12. So I just think that there's so much science to it as well. It's not just astrology woo-woo, it's very applicable to everyday life as well.
Right. Hence applied astrology, right? We
Absolutely.
are applying it. We're actually using it as tools, and it's like tangible. It's something we can grab onto within the school, where, astrology can tend to be pretty woo-woo sometimes. Debra has a way of like grounding it down and making it like solid,
Yeah. And I love that the most. Like, I've taken some astrology courses online before, but I really loved the course because it was, I got to be in the classroom with you and learn about other people's charts. But then also there was the work aspect that I got to do, that self-discovery, that when those two put hand in hand was very powerful. Absolutely. Like, I learned so much about myself themselves and my quirks and why I do things a certain way. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like I laughed so hard. Deb said, you know, you've literally come in this life to be bossy. And I was like, I'm going to put that on a t-shirt because I do tend to like take charge of situations, and it's just something I do. And I couldn't explain why I would do those things. And now I'm like, oh, like I've come into this life to be like that. So it's almost giving yourself permission and not beating yourself up for your quirks almost, you know?
Exactly. It's finding compassion for things that perhaps you were shy about yourself before, or that you felt like, I don't like this part of myself. And then there's a reasoning behind why it's there, you know? And in that reasoning, I think there's a softening and a compassion that people get to develop for themselves. So, well, Lisa, I thank you so, so much for hopping on.
Thanks, Malika.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate
your
you
face
asking.
again.
Yeah, I know. It was so much fun. We will definitely see each other in person in the future. I know it.
Yeah, I know it too. I know it too. So thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing your experience, your level 3 story. And it's really beautiful to hear that in your voice and see your face. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. And we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.